This is a Stock Trading Reality Podcast, episode 50. We've been doing this for 50 weeks.
This is the Stock Trading Reality Podcast, where you get to see the realistic side of a trader's journey. Get inspired and stay motivated by everyday normal people who are currently on their journey to trading success. And this is your host. He was the last person out of 40,000 to put on shoes. What? ClayTrader.
Yeah, you may be thinking, what are you talking about? But I went to Ohio State University, and it's a big school in case you're not aware. And I don't know what it was. I guess I'm just a weirdo. Maybe it's just me liking to push myself to the limits. But once fall would come around and then shift into winter, I'd always wear sandals just because it's warm or whatever. And I wanted to see, let's see how long I can push myself. And while I don't have any verifiable facts, I'm pretty sure that I was the last person on the campus of over 40,000 people still in sandals. And I'm pretty sure there might have been some snow on the ground a couple of times. And my toes may or may not have been frozen by the time I got to class, but I pushed myself to the limit. So yes, I like to think my mental pain tolerance is kind of high, but that's kind of and I tell my wife about that, like she should be impressed, but she's not. So, Chezz, are you impressed that I was able to go in my sandals the longest out of 40-some thousand people?
I don't know if it's so much a thing as mental pain tolerance, more so than maybe you were just too lazy to bend over and put socks and shoes on. So, I mean, it could go either way.
That's
honestly,
true.
though, I mean, you stuck to your guns, though, and you made it through, snow-packed banks with your flip-flops. So, I got to hand it to you, but I did not do that in Chicago. Way too cold for me.
Yeah, that may be what it is. Because when I said, sandals are so nice, you just slip your feet in and then you go with it. So, well, you know what, Chezz? I don't know. I don't know where the time's gone, but do you realize that this is episode 50, Chezz?
Is it really? Have we spent this long together and I still haven't, wanted to rip your head off or anything yet? So I guess that is a good thing.
Head off multiple times. So, I guess I'm a little easier to get along with than you, but 50 episodes. So Chezz and I were thinking, what can we do for episode 50? And we thought, you know what? Why don't we just kind of talk about whatever, talk about some things we've learned, talk about just experiences, which will hopefully lead to some ranting and raving. But we're just going to spend this episode, just Chezz and I kind of shooting the breeze and just kind of talking about what we've learned from, whether it be trading, what we've learned from past guests, what we've learned from more of the customer service aspects, because both Chezz and I, as much as I wish I could say that ClayTrader.com was some, Fortune 500 company with thousands of employees. No, it's just three of us there. So we're all involved in customer service, but it brings some very good, I think, learning lessons and things that we can talk about. So we're just going to kind of see where the breeze takes us and hopefully have a good time. Hopefully make it educational, because at the end of the day, I want this to be educational. I don't want it to just be us sitting here, joking around. I want to have a good time, but I also want to, talk about things that you as a listener, can learn from. So the first place I want to start is just something that I think Chezz and I can both relate to. And Chezz and I, none of this has been scripted. So Chezz has no idea what I'm about to throw at him. I have no idea what some of his things are. And that was by design. We want to keep this as realistic as possible. Always a catch-22, because this could be a disaster. But like I said, we just want to make this as unscripted as possible. So the first thing, though, that I think probably both Chezz and I see, I know I do, is, hey, Chezz, what do you think about ticker symbol and then fill in the blank? Or I get it. Hey, Clay, what do you think about ticker symbol and then fill in the blank? And there are just so many things wrong with asking such an open-ended question like that. So, Chezz, why don't I just toss it over to you? First off, do you ever get this, and kind of what's your reply to this person, and why do you reply to them the way you do?
So obviously, that's probably one of the most common things, especially that we get as far as customer service, is that generally there's usually a reason, and actually there's almost always a reason why people want somebody else's opinion, and it's usually just to reaffirm that their trade idea was a good one. They're looking for more people to be in their corner and say that, this is a great trade, and here's the reasons why. But the funny thing is, I think it is a scripted response on our part. It's just a reaction we all have for a certain reason, is that we say, well, what do you think? And as soon as you open that door, you can tell right away if they are long or they are short because they have this immediate bias. Oh, I think this is a great thing. I've been long from here, or I just got in now. You should get in before it really goes to the moon, or, this thing is crap and it's going to go down. But, that one simple sentence is, well, what do you think? And it opens the floodgates of what their actual intentions are. And they show their hand so fast that if it was a poker game, you could immediately know what kind of cards they were holding. But yeah, like I said, it's just such a common thing. And unfortunately, you got to ask some people, some people actually have reasons, it broke this pattern, it did this, or even fundamental reasons, things like that. But most of the time, people will just say, well, I'm long, it's going to the moon, and you should come with me. So, I mean, what kind of responses do you generally get to those?
Yeah, what sticks out to me and what's dangerous is it totally reveals that person's ignorance towards the market. It tells me everything I need to know about where they're at in their journey. Because if you know anything about trading, then you know that to ask a question like that is so broad. Let's just start at the top of the pyramid. Well, are you asking me from a short or long perspective? I mean, I could sit here and assume that you were talking about me from a short perspective. So I could list out all these things. And you may have been thinking about it from a long perspective. And you know what? You may be actually right. Because for every chart setup, there's odds are you can set up a trade that's either short biased or long biased. But when you just ask somebody, what do you think about that? Well, long or short. Another thing, well, what time frame are these person? I could be talking about it from the 2-minute time perspective. Maybe this person's thinking about it from the weekly time perspective. Maybe they're thinking, you know what? I want to sell within a week. So they're thinking more of a swing trade. But I could be taking it from a day trade perspective, giving them my thoughts from, hey, you know what? I think you want to sell in 20 minutes.
Where Clay lasts is typical 30 seconds, actually. That's closer, 20 minutes. Come on, that's a stretch for you.
Exactly. But to just ask it, it's too broad. It's too open-ended. There's too many variables that go into a trade plan where if you're just asking somebody and thinking that they can give you an answer of, hey, what do you think about Apple? Well, what do you mean? What do I think about it? Do I think that it's a good short setup? Do I think it's a good long setup? Do I think it's a good swing trade? Do I think it's a good, scalping trade? Lots of different avenues. So that's probably the most common question I get. And I've actually now created a video because it's gotten so bad. The title of the video is the worst question or the worst possible question you can ask. And I literally break down all these different things that Chezz and I have been talking about. So we'll link that in the show notes. But don't ask that question, okay? And please understand if you're tempted to ask, and neither of Chezz and I have even touched on this, we're just random strangers on the internet. Sure, I have some YouTube videos out there and stuff, but I'm still a stranger to you. Why would you just ask me such a broad question? I mean, I could easily say, oh, yeah, that's the greatest thing ever, and manipulate the situation to my favor. So just don't ask that question. But if you do ask, a better way would be, hey, what do you think about Apple? I'm thinking short biased. I'm looking at the 15-minute chart. I think my stop loss I want to put right there. My targets are down here. Do you think my RVR makes sense? Now I know that you're looking to go short. I know that you're looking on the 15-minute time frame. I know that you have risk management in place. Do you see the difference there, Chezz? If somebody were to ask you that, isn't it much easier for you to answer that question in that manner?
Yeah, it's much easier, and it's the sense of they're just looking to have a conversation about this ticker, and is there maybe there's a red flag or something that you notice that maybe they haven't on either a different time frame or something like that. But you, like you said, you've just gotten eyes on their entire trading plan, so you can kind of look over that plan and say, hey, if that was a trade I was taking, then that would be completely logical. But something you said that really stuck out to me is it really is revealing where they're at in their journey, because I think it's safe to say that you completely agree with this, is that the more and more I've learned trading, the less and less I need anybody else's opinion. I don't have the news on. I don't have Twitter up. I don't even ask people in our chat room, what do you think about this trade? Because honestly, every single person is going to trade, like you said. They could be long biased, they could be short biased. Everyone can form a logical plan for the most part in whatever their thesis is. And for me personally, other people's opinions have only clouded my judgment. And don't get me wrong, there's tons of great technicians that are in our community. The thing is that I don't personally need it. I have my plan. I know my risk. I know what I'm looking for, and that's all I need. But like you said, in the beginning, I was the same exact way. I'd say, hey, what do you think? Is this going to go up or is this going to go down? And because you're just stretching and you want somebody to agree with you.
Yeah, and that's the biggest compliment. I'll speak for Chezz and myself. But the biggest compliment you could give Chezz and I is, hey, piss off. I don't need your opinion on this. I'm good.
Yep.
I'm
Couldn't
confident.
agree more.
I know what I'm doing. So, thank you for teaching me. Thank you for showing me how to do this stuff, but I don't need your opinion. I'm not going to ask you for your opinion. To me, that's fantastic. Now, don't get me wrong. If you are still on the journey, and I get this a lot, people send me a screenshot and they have things mapped out. They have things annotated. Hey, what do you think about this? I'm more than willing to help those people out. They're making an effort. They're, mapping out. They're showing me what they're thinking, and they just want a secondary set of eyes. They're on their journey to getting to the point where, hey, Clay, Chezz, get out. I don't need your opinion. But you compare that, a nice screenshot in an email, things all annotated, arrows. This is what I'm thinking to, hey, Clay, what do you think about Apple? And that's literally all that email says. Delete. I will reply back and give you some sort of lecture. And I'll be the first to admit I have a document, which something I'll just copy, paste, send, because I've learned, I'm not going to sit here and type these things because I get the same questions. But yeah, the biggest compliment that you can give us is, look, I appreciate you showing me how to do all this stuff, but I don't need your opinion anymore. I can fully form a trade plan on my own. And, that's that, thank you very much, but I'm good now. It's kind of like, don't eagles like push their babies out of the nest and just say, hey, fly. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think I've heard that somewhere. But anyway, so yeah, don't ask that question. If you are tempted to ask that question, do some self-reflection. Like, I think I got a long way to go in my journey if I'm just willing to ask such a broad, open-ended question to some stranger, on the internet. So that's a big question we get. Another thing that I think Chezz and I get and that I want to talk about is just the importance of paper trading. And in fact, we just had a discussion on Friday after the market closed, Friday at the time of this interview, but with one of our members that's been around a long time. And I want to set up, the kind of context here because it opens up just something that's very tricky, but, it's very important in terms of, how it works. So we have a member and they want to get into futures trading. And this member has been paper trading. It's been fantastic. And they've been paper trading using 2 contracts. You can look at that as 2 shares, just whatever. But their position size was 2. And then they were telling us, I was paper trading. Then I go to real money and I lost $1,000. And then I go back to paper trading and I make $900. So, I'm sitting there and kind of just thinking, all right, because this person's actually been on multiple times and they're very hard worker. They're a good trader. They've been doing very well in options. And long story short, they said, I've been paper trading with 2 options. And then when I went to real money, I was using 1 option or 1 contract, I should say. And right there, ding, 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 there it is. And our person goes, well, how can that be bad? I have less risk because I'm using smaller position size. But Chezz, what's the problem with this whole thing here? What threw everything off for this person?
He's done so much practice with a certain size, and he comes to the expectation of certain profits, and he knows what to expect for wins and losses. And now what he's done is he's essentially changed the size. So those wins and those, the wins are half size, which means maybe he's in the trade, not as, too long, essentially overstaying his welcome because he's used to, already being out at this point. But what he's done is he's changed the plan. Essentially, he's done, you run the mile every single day and you know what your time is, and then it's like, okay, now you're going to run a mile and a half. And you go, well, I just practiced the mile, I just literally changed it up as soon as it was like, the running meet or whatever it is. And, the best way, my transition was actually really, really great because I literally did 2 contracts for 3 months. And then I did 2 contracts right to live on the same platform. And it's like nothing changed. Don't get me wrong. Voices still try to come running out as soon as real money's on the line. But that he changed the plan. That's what he did. He just went to something different that he was used to.
And the tricky part here, and why I don't, say, oh, that was so stupid, is in his mind, he was thinking, look, when I go to real money, I'm going to lower my risk even more. So I get why he did it. He was totally conscious of risk control, which is awesome. That's like the core thing we preach in the community is control risk management, all that sort of stuff. So in his mind, when I go to real, I'll go down to 1 contract and then my risk will be that much more under control. But Chezz's key thing that he was telling about is he practiced with 2. And then in real money, he had 2. So 2 to 2, that's A to A. What this person did was he practiced with 2 and then all of a sudden went to 1. So that's A to, B, A to C. Point being is it wasn't a smooth transition. It wasn't the same thing. So paper trading, what Chezz and I get all the time is, and that's just one little example. That's more of a position size thing. But lots of times it's, yeah, so right now I got 5,000 shares trading. All right, now I'm up to 10,000 shares. And, I like to ask the question, so when you go to real money, are you going to be able to, buy 10,000 shares? Well, no, but I'm just paper trading. So right there off the bat, it's like, well, that you're not keeping it realistic at all. If you can't buy 10,000 shares while you're paper trading, then or when you go to real money, then don't do 10,000 shares when you're paper trading, because that's not going to be a smooth transition. That's going to be like A setup to, E or F setup. I mean, it's not even going to be close at all. I mean, you got to keep it as close to A as possible. And that includes position size. I mean, Chezz, I think I've lost count of how many times we've seen those instances where people are trading just so unrealistically. And then, we got to ask them, well, is that what it's going to be on pay or on real money? And well, no, but, and then they throw up the but. I'm just paper trading. Like paper trading is some sort of justification.
Yeah, I made $800 this trade. I go, oh yeah, well, how many shares did you use? I use this. Okay, so what are you gonna do when you go live? Oh, I'm gonna be 1/10 that size, so that'll be $80. And I go, yeah, why are you trading 10 times larger than, great, because the money comes faster when you're right. Don't get me wrong, I get it, but I can assure you that transition to live is going to be completely flawed, broken, and when your brain is looking for that $800 profit and there's $80 there, like I said, you're going to overstay your welcome because you're greedy, and that's just a natural thing to be. But yeah, it's just you just have thrown a wrench in your brain. You've practiced so well, and we love when people practice because you need to kind of find what works before you start chucking your money at it. But the transitions, it's going to be like you started over again just because you've changed that.
Well, what you just said is my counter argument. If I was putting myself in, I'd be like, "What are you talking about, Chezz? It's all proportionate." Sure, I'm doing 10 times more.
You'd think
but now
that.
I'm just, yeah, you think that. And it's true. Mathematically, that's true. You think, okay, well, if I just do 10 times more, then when I go live and I'll just do 1/10, so then it'll just be a tenth of what I realize that the math and the logic sits there when you look at things from a proportion standpoint, but the voices don't care about proportions. It'll be a lot different. So, and that's a good point. This is why I like off the cuff stuff, but that's what's tricky is trading has a lot to do with math because it is numbers, but it doesn't have to do because of the psychological aspect in trading. That sort of math doesn't work. Well, yeah, it's all proportionate, so it'll all work out fine. No, it's got to be A to A. If you can do, 10 contracts, then practice at 10 contracts. But when you go live, you better be doing 10 contracts. Even if you think, well, I'm going to practice with 10, and then I'm going to go down to 1. Sure, your risk is much less, but it's just not the same. And it's never going to be the exact same, but you gotta get it as close as close as you can. I mean, there's just no ands, ifs, buts about it. I mean, do you have any final words here, Chezz? Because I mean, we see it all the time. There's too much unrealistic. And actually, Chezz, if you really want to get my blood boiling, then be a member of the community for a while, and then sit there and post these stupid gains in the chat room about, oh yeah, I'm killing it. Oh, look at these gains. And I just sit there and I just make fists. I'm thinking, you have no excuse. Now, I totally get it. If you've been a member for like a few weeks or a month, you're still learning. I get it. You're going to be unrealistic in your paper trading. But I see it. People are out there acting like morons with their paper trading. I'm like, what are you doing? I didn't realize that you had unlimited time in the day. Do you have like a time machine where you can just waste time and then go back and do things again? Some of these people, and yes, some members, and if right now, if you have guilty conscience, then yeah, I'm probably talking about you, are wasting so much time, well, I just got some time to kill. Okay, fine. Kill your time doing realistic paper trading. Don't kill your time being a moron and just wasting time and polluting. I know you don't think that you're creating bad habits for yourself, but I promise you are. I know I'm just having a good time. I'll just get a little unrealistic here in my trading. Okay. And then some of the people, why? I can't get any traction. I'm stuck in neutral. Well, no kidding. I wonder why. I mean, it drives me up the wall. I get it with the new people. They're learning, they're understanding. But some of the people, Chezz, and you know who I'm talking about.
some of them have been here over 12 months, over 16 months, almost from the very get-go of ClayTrader.com. And it just blows my mind when, like you said, oh, I made $8,000 profit here. I made a $12,000 profit here. And then when they want to go live with something that's 1/20th the size and they go, well, shoot, I can't even make $50 and I just blew up my account. And I would just go, well, what did you think was going to happen? I mean, it's just... It's not like they're new. They're not new, and I guess that's the big problem.
Well, it really gets my goat is they're like, their justification is, well, I know I'm not being realistic. Like, I don't expect this when I go live. I don't care. That makes it worse that you're not being realistic, yet you're still spending your time doing it. Again, unless you have a time machine and you have unlimited time, okay, then I guess that's cool. But I'm pretty sure that's not the case. You're admitting to me that you're just totally wasting your time. I don't know. To me, I'd rather spend my time doing something very productive, and practicing realistically is about as productive as can get. So we got to move on here, Chezz, because I'm gonna lose my mind. So, all right, here's another thing that I get all the time, and it drives me nuts. Hey, Clay, I got a small account, so I'm gonna have to go to penny stocks. Penny stocks is where it's at for small accounts, and that's how you grow small accounts. And that's just where I'm at. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against penny stocks when there's actually a penny stock market. So when marijuana stocks were booming back a few years ago, hey, penny stock market, awesome. I mean, it was crazy. By all means, there's plenty of liquidity there to make money. But first and foremost, before you even get to anything else, if you have a small account and you want to grow your account, first question you need to ask yourself, do I have a job? If yes, awesome, good. That's the best wealth creator right there. You have a job, fantastic. Second, do I have a budget? Meaning, are you looking at your personal finances? Because whether you believe it or not, you are a CEO. What are you a CEO of? Your personal finances. You're in charge of you. You yourself are a company in and of itself. But if you don't know where your money's going, if you're just, if it's just leaking out of who knows where because you don't keep track of anything because you're not a very good CEO of your personal finances, then you know what? You may think penny stocks is my only hope. That's the only way I can grow it. No, you have a job. You have money coming in. First, look at your budget. Where is your money going? I'm willing to bet you could easily start to grow that account just being saving some money every week, every month. And then after a few months, all of a sudden, you could have who knows how much more just sitting in your trading account. And guess what? You didn't have to touch a penny stock. You didn't even have to touch anything market related. You just got your act together, looked at your budget, and started to trim out some of the, the fat and the excess spending. So that's the first spot is you don't even need to go to the market. If you have a job and it's just a part-time job, hey, the market closes at 4 p.m. Eastern time. That means you could be delivering pizzas from 4:30 to 11 o'clock at night, every night. And you think, oh, well, that's kind of like, wow.
I'm above that.
Yeah, I'm above that. I'm like 30, I'm like 40, I'm like 50 years old. Well, how bad do you want it? If you want to be a trader, I will respect you 10 times more. If someone were to email me and say, I gotta, at the market closes, then I gotta head out because I gotta go deliver pizzas because I just, picked up a part-time job so I can put some of this money into my trading account. That is awesome. I would love to shake your hand because that's what work ethic is right there. Not like just, oh, I'm above it. No, best way to grow a small account is not trading. There too many people think, well, the only way I can grow my account is go, start just kind of gamble my money and
I got to go all in right now and double my account, and then I'll be able to really, trade normally. But these first few trades, they're just gambles all in because I need to make this money. I need to grow this account.
Yeah, and it's a lack of patience is what it is. It's, wait, are you telling me that I can't trade for another 3 months because I should go pick up a part-time job or pick up another part-time job so I can just hoard some more money for the next 3 months and then actually give myself a decent cushion? Wait, are you telling me that I can't trade for 4 months because I should actually maybe invest into some education? And I'm not talking about any of my courses. If you want to invest in my courses, awesome. But maybe somebody else's. Wait, are you telling me that I got to actually invest and learn how to do this? The lack of patience out there is, I think, if I were to have to put my finger on something, Chezz, I think that's what it is. The lack of patience is what causes most to fail. I'm not saying you have to agree with that, but what do you think is the primary reason out there why most people fail with all this?
Oh, it's definitely lack of patience, and I'm a product of that as well. I had to get burned in the penny market because I wanted to make it big. But like you said, when how bad do you want it is the absolute truth. When I made the switch, when I left, I had full-time employment. I had a job, I had benefits, I had all of that, and I got my account to a point where I knew that I could trade full-time. You know what I did after I quit that job and started trading full-time? I started driving for Uber and Lyft at night. Do you think me as a college graduate, in my late 20s, do you think I ideally want to go drive around strangers in my car at night? No, but you know what it does? It gives me peace of mind because that's more money that's coming in that I don't have to be reliant on. It's not a thing of a pride. It really is more so along the lines of how bad do you want it? And something that I did while I was still at that job, and this is after I learned, you need patience. You can build up your bankroll and practice at the same time. But, I did something as simple as, I started making lunch. All I did is make lunch and bring it to work. You know how much money I saved? Like over $100 a week just bringing lunch to work. And it's little things like that that add up, or selling some old technology stuff, old monitors, old computer parts, whatever it is. Get rid of it. You don't need it. You're not using it anyways. It's these little tips and tricks that can help you build up that account fast, and you can practice trading what you want to trade. Something that's not, a liquidity death trap or something, options, whatever it is. We don't care what it is. But yeah, it's the lack of patience that certainly there's no doubt about it, has led to huge losses for many traders, probably just immediately knocking them out the gate in the first couple months.
Yeah, I think if I were to make some sort of contention in a court of law, my argument, and I think I could argue this to victory, is if you are broke right now, or if you have very, very little money to do trading, that's awesome. You're in the right spot, because it goes back to what Chezz says. You're broke, so you can't trade anyways, or if you trade, it's just not smart. But if you have a small account, that's such a good spot, because the worst part is these people that have a ton of money and they can hop right in the markets right away. They have a ton of money. I can trade right now. I'm going to trade right now. Boom. Where did all my money go? Whereas you, being somebody with a small account, maybe you're flat out broke, you can go and do what Chezz is saying. Get a job, do something, be a good CEO of your personal finances. And while you're doing all that, while you're hoarding cash, while you're building up your account, you're sitting there paper trading. That's why I wanted to talk about paper trading first before we got into that, because paper trading properly, paper trading with a plan and keeping it realistic is fantastic. When you have no other choice, but I have to paper trade because I'm broke and I have no money, well, that's a good problem to be in, because the worst temptation is, well, I have money. I could be trading right now, but patience, patience, patience. I don't want to have to go through. I want to trade right now. I have the money. And then you just get yourself in way too much trouble. So, don't look down at yourself if you have a small account. Don't get frustrated with yourself if you have a small account. That's actually the ideal spot to be in, because you have no other choice but to work hard, build up the account, and then practice. And remember, working hard is not putting money on a penny stock, putting money on an option. Building a small account through the markets is never going to work, because you're going to give it all back because you don't know what you're doing. Build your small account outside of the market while you practice.
There's nothing more lethal, in my opinion, than a new trader would say, like $100,000 account. He's been working all his life. He's got this large account, and he just goes, I got $100,000 account. I'm going to snowball this into $1 million real quick. And that, coupled with lack of education and all of this, we've watched people lose, there's one person we've watched lose over like 70 grand, and that's just completely unnecessary. And the sad thing was, it wasn't even all of his money, and it's just, there was no reason for that. Yep. It's just absolutely blows my mind and drives me nuts, because I've watched people go on to so much more success, starting with, first off, trading realistically in their practice, then trading realistically with their stuff, and they're actually, building consistency, good habits. These are things that will build a small account. And when I say small account, people starting with less than $1,000 have ballooned these accounts into 5 figures, probably going to be 6 figures in the next year or two. But the thing is that their trend is up. Their drawdowns are small, their wins are large, and that's how you go. I don't care what size your account is. These people can start with absolutely nothing. If you gave them a $10,000 account and they traded the same way, they'd be millionaires by now. The important thing was the consistency, the habits, and how they kind of are doing it.
Exactly. And this kind of segues nicely into an exchange I just had actually this morning when I was going through after the weekend doing some customer service. And I had somebody, and this isn't unique to this person, but it just kind of really spurred on my mind. But I found comical. And again, this is not some sort of sales pitch to, hey, buy my course. I mean, if there's another course, I fully believe that you have to invest in your education. But I'm not going to sit here and say that my education is the only way. So I don't want to come across like this is a sell pitch for just myself. This is in general. If you're on the fence about maybe somebody else's, investment course or whatever, then, go for it. Go for them. That's awesome. But this person was, just telling me, about their journey and just kind of, letting me know where they're at. And then their final paragraphs were, I really like your free stuff. And I wish I could buy, your premium stuff, but I don't quite have the disposable income for that. So I'm going to start trading, but I'm going to trade cautiously. So I have money, but I don't want to spend it on your education, but I'm going to trade cautiously. So I replied back to this person. I said, what happens if you had to go in for heart surgery and the doctor says to you, you know what? I've never been to medical school, but don't worry about it. When I do the surgery, I'm going to be cautious about it, okay? I'm going to snip very slowly and I'm going to slice very cautiously. And I'll be cautious when I'm stitching things back up. And, I'll be cautious about it. I didn't have the disposable income to go to medical school, but I'm going to be cautious when I perform the surgery. Are you going to be okay with that? And that's a rhetorical question. Of course, this guy's going to say, no, I would never let somebody perform surgery on me that didn't have enough disposable income to go learn how to do. So why in this person's mind do they think, I don't have enough disposable income to learn, so I'm just going to trade cautiously? Like trading cautiously is some sort of justifiable excuse. Well, you know what? The market is not going to be cautious with you. It's going to kick you in the teeth, and all of a sudden, now you're going to have zero disposable income. Because if you have some money to trade, you have some money to invest in trade or in your education. So it really becomes a question of, which path do you want to go down? And Chezz, I think most people, going back to the lack of patience, they're going to choose, you know what? I have limited disposable income. Rather, than invest it into learning, I'm going to just go and do it on my own. And I mean, I would agree, or would you agree that that's probably where most people go down in terms of pathways?
Oh yeah, of course. And the thing is, they go, well, we appreciate, I appreciate your advice, trying to look out for me and just trying to offer
they always
helpful.
thank you, like that's the more justification.
But don't worry, I'll be different. I'm gonna trade really small, and from all your free stuff online, I've developed a really good strategy. And that's another great video you have where you only show the small amount of screen in your live videos, but you have 3.5 more monitors of information that's helping you base these trades around. And they go, oh yeah, I got a lot, from Google or wherever it is, just information pieced around the internet. And it is so easy to be a quote unquote professional trader or to become a trader, period. Because all it takes is a couple forms. You fill out a couple forms and you have a trading account, whatever money you put in there. I'm a trader now. But like you said, you wouldn't go to a doctor for heart surgery who says, I Googled some stuff. It's cheaper than, actually going to school. You just don't do that. You get what you put into it. And a lot of people, like you said, ties right back into the patience thing. Nobody wants to wait and do it the easy way. They all want that shortcut. They want to pay for something to make them better and then be done with it and then go on to immediate success. And it does not work that way. Market kicking you in the teeth is an understatement of what it's going to do to you.
Yeah, and it's always, I had somebody, again, this a lot of good stuff happened over the weekend, I guess, that, brought to this. But another person, same thing, I've been watching your free stuff and I've been, other YouTube videos and I've been, Googling stuff and all this stuff. So I'm ready to go and I'm just getting ready to open my E-Trade account. And I'm thinking, this sums up everything so perfectly. This person wants to be, a day trader, which is fine. They think they got it all figured out. They think they know this. They think they know that. And then all of a sudden, they're going to open up an E-Trade account. Chezz, why does opening up an E-Trade account when you want to become an active trader make absolutely zero sense?
Well, it shows right away the lack of, okay, so to give a little example, if you're a business and your job is making sheds, okay, you have to source the wood for that, right? You should probably do research on where to get wood for a good price and good quality, right? That would make sense if you need supplies. You don't want to overpay for something or get crappy materials. There's so many things wrong with this. Oh, it's so bad.
And this is true. It literally just happened. They gave me a big old spiel about how much they're ready, how much research they've done. Now their final step is I got to open up an E-Trade account.
They're getting so E-Trade has a great budget to advertise. You've seen it on TV. You probably get hit with targeted ads on the internet for it. great, whatever. They in no way, not even close, offer competitive rates, especially for active trading. Even long-term trading, there's still so many better options to do it. And what this has immediately shown to me, and I didn't actually read this chat that Clay had with whoever it was, but you haven't done your research. I could do a Google search right now and find 10 other brokers that have better rates, especially for somebody who's active trading with various account size and various products. But this really
Well, the
is the
thing
rant
is, I'm
podcast,
like,
Clay.
where have you been researching at? Because I have a guide to selecting a broker on my site, and nowhere does it direct you to E-Trade to go pay $10 a trade. I mean, it's crazy to think that, I'm going to be active and it's acceptable for me to pay, $10 to buy, $10 to sell. In fact, I don't remember what episode number it was, but Patty, one of our past guests, was telling us he fell into this boat. What was that number, Chezz? He was using E-Trade, and then he gave his number. Like the commissions he paid to E-Trade at the end of 1 year wasn't it like $20,000-$30,000, something
Yeah, I was
crazy
gonna
like
say I
that?
thought it was like over 15,000, and it's just
Commissions.
commissions.
Yeah, yeah.
$15,000 from your account. Just imagine it going away. Just poof, gone.
And it goes back to business management. All right. So Patty found somebody else that's a lot cheaper. And just to make the math, he was paying $10 to buy. So let's say he finds somebody to do $5, which is still pretty terrible, but to keep the math sake. So to go from $10 to $5, that's $5 in savings. So a penny saved is a penny earned. In other words, Patty is now making money to trade. He is literally getting paid to trade with this new broker because every time he buys, he's actually saving $5. Therefore, he's making $5. So just little things like that. Sure, you may have been for the past 6 months Googling and watching YouTube and reading blogs and doing all this stuff. But there's lots of just little tiny things that aren't they seem tiny. Like, who cares what broker you use? Well, you know what? There's a lot, and that's kind of a glaringly obvious one. There's lots of other small little things where when you're just grabbing pieces of education from here and then there and then way over there and then, are you getting the full picture? Maybe. I'll be fair. Maybe you are getting the full picture, but odds are I highly doubt you're getting the entire picture. And, I always love it when I'm scrolling through YouTube and, how to read candlestick charts. And it's like an 8-minute video. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that you're not going to be able to teach somebody how to truly read a candlestick chart in 8 minutes. Or,
People devoted 30 years to reading candlestick charts. And then this guy is going to say, okay, in 8 minutes, everything I've learned over 30 years, you can acquire. No, It does not work that way.
And there's one out on YouTube right now. It's like a paid advertisement. It's like how to trade or something broad like that. And the video, it's like an hour-long video, hour and 15-minute video. But if you think you're going to learn how to trade in an hour and 15 minutes on a video on YouTube, look, I got some good beachfront property for you in New Mexico. I would love to sell it to you. Okay, I mean, just I don't really know what else to say here, but there's a little bit more to this trading thing than just random YouTube videos, random blogs, and all that. Again, I'm not saying you have to go and buy a course from ClayTrader.com. If you're thinking about buying a course from somebody else out there, then buy the course. Seriously, your money is going to be well spent there. If you've done your research and feel comfortable with that person, then go that route because 10%, that's the success rate. If trading was as easy as going to the library and getting a book and then, watching YouTube videos and then, reading some blog articles, then Chezz, don't you think that number would be a little higher than 10%? Maybe get it up to like 30%, 40%, 50% if it was really, as easy as a library book.
For those people who actually made it through the hour-long YouTube video, probably 40% right there. But yeah, I mean, there's any profession that pays, a lawyer. We always go with the doctor one, but let's go with, say, a lawyer. You think somebody becomes a lawyer after watching an hour-long YouTube video and, knows all the laws and his practice case studies and has sat next to somebody, on trial or something? No, they've done it for years. They've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars probably on law school and things like that. But the overarching theme is that they invested in their education. Nobody who was a lawyer has gone on becomealawyer.com and became a lawyer that way. That does not work that way. We don't care where you've gotten your information. If you feel comfortable with it, wherever your teacher is that you find, great. Just learn from somebody who's got a track record, who has done it successfully. Another scary thing about this industry as a whole, though, is that there's so many people who say, I can teach you. But the thing is that they've never actually traded. So that this ties into the thing about, the little voices. They don't know what it's like to have those little voices come out. That's great. I could be a fantastic paper trader, like we said, and trade completely unrealistically. But somebody tries to do that with real money. If they try to do that with real money, they're going to blow up because it's just a completely different realm. And it's just invest in yourself. It pays dividends for life. Just invest in yourself.
But Chezz, I have a solution to all this, and this is another avenue that can really get my blood boiling. And I think blood boiling because I kind of like fell for it when I first got started. But the whole, you know what? I'm just going to sign up for a chat room that has buy alerts and sell alerts, that sends out text messages, that maybe sends out emails of, what the hot stock is, or where this guru is buying, and then where this guru is going to sell. And I think that way I'm paying money. I mean, I have to pay for this service. So sure, I'm not using money towards, education, but I am spending money, but I'm spending it towards a service that does this. Let's just all stop and think about this. If you think that you can pay, it seems like $297. It seems like that's a pipe. $297 for 3 months. So if you think you can pay $297 for 3 months access to this, chat room that's going to send you text alerts and emails, or you can just be in the chat room and they're going to tell you buy and sell signals. So if you think that you can sign up for that, and then in the morning, I'm going to go to the golf course, and I'm sitting out on the golf course. Zzz, zzz, oh, my phone. Oh, hey, look, I got an alert to buy ticker symbol XYZ here. Okay, just a minute. Why don't you go? You go first. You tee off. I'll be right behind you.
Let me log on to my E-Trade app real quick.
Yeah, let me get on an E-Trade. Okay, buy. Okay. You go and hit your ball, and you're walking down. Zzz, zzz, sell at this price. All right, hey, you go ahead and putt. I got to hop on your E-Trade app, sell. Hey, Billy Bob, I just made $1,500 out here. Man, that was easy. Paid $297. I'm out on the golf course. This is life. This is life. This is great. These buy and sell alerts. I can't believe people actually try to learn how to do this when all you got to do is follow somebody else. If you think that's reality, then seriously, check out my New Mexico beachfront property. It is beautiful.
It's gorgeous this time of year too. It's just perfect in the spring.
It is. It'll blow your mind. It's fantastic. And I know we're obviously being very sarcastic right now in all this, but there's people, and a lot of them, myself included, when I first got started, that was like, oh, I think the easiest path to success is find somebody that proclaims to know what they're doing and then just follow them. I'll buy when they buy. I'll sell when they sell. And all I'm going to do is follow them. And you know what? I saw this guy, he proclaims, 90%, 95% accuracy. And I saw the guy's spreadsheet. And yeah, he does have 95% accuracy on this spreadsheet. Well, you know what, Chezz? Let's go create a spreadsheet right now. I'll give myself 99.8%, and then I can set up alerts and say, hey, check out. Yeah, I'm right 99% of the time. Here's my spreadsheet to back it up.
You definitely couldn't just make a spreadsheet. You have to have results to fill that spreadsheet. You can't just type numbers in a spreadsheet, can you, Clay? Is that how Excel works?
I mean, I don't know, unless Excel has changed. I think you can, Chezz. I think I could literally just go in there and say, yeah, I bought here and then I sold here. Oh, look, I made money. So,
I'm going to launch a text alert service. We'll have to come back. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. It's, and I had it before people, oh, your chat room's worthless. I don't know when to buy. I don't know when to sell. Well, that doesn't work like that. There's a big difference between alerting something in play and then how to play it. In our chat room, we just alert things that are in play because you know what? I may like skydiving. You may think that's the craziest thing ever. I would never do that. What's my point? Why am I bringing that up? Well, we all have different risk tolerance levels. So if you think that you can just sign up for somebody else's system or somebody else's exact strategy or anything like that, it's not going to work because we all are creatures of different risk tolerance. And for somebody, it may be like, yeah, this is no big deal. I feel comfortable. But somebody else may be, sitting there biting all their nails off because they don't feel comfortable doing it because their risk tolerance isn't in line with what, either that buy alert was or, the sell alert or, whatever. It's just not even close to going way back to the paper trading, an A to A type situation. It's just, it's not even the same the ballpark. It's like A to beyond Z if there was more letters than that. It just does not work like that. But it does work from a business perspective. If I was smart, if Chezz and I were smart, we would totally rebrand the site and we would just say, hey, We'll tell you when to buy. We'll tell you when to sell. Don't worry about it. Just pay us $297 every 3 months and we'll take care of you. But when you think about it from a business perspective, that's smart. What we talked about earlier is the best compliment you can give us is, hey, piss off. I don't want your opinion. I don't care what you guys think. You've shown me how to do it. Well, from a reoccurring payment method, I think we're idiots, Chezz, because we're like totally.
We do shoot ourselves in the foot. Yeah, we do that. But we do that because we're not scumbags. No offense. Yeah, it's just simple as that.
Yeah, it's when you think about it, people, when they just say follow us, follow us, follow us, they want to create dependency. They just, well, first off, you're never going to last. I mean, they'll get maybe 6 months payments out of you, if that, before you figure it out. Wait, this is not working. Something's wrong here. And anybody that's sitting there saying, hey, sign up for this group, it changed my life, please go back to that original site and see if they have an affiliate marketing program. Odds are they have an affiliate marketing program, meaning if you click on that person's link and then you ultimately sign up, that person gets paid a portion of money. And I will say right now, the vast majority of the sites out there where the people are sitting there saying, oh yeah, they're buying sell alerts, I've made so much money, oh, this person is great, this service is great, they're affiliate marketers. They are getting paid, or they will get paid if you sign up through their referral link. And that's what they want, because they know that people are lazy. People are not patient. So if you can just tell somebody, hey, you know what, follow us, we'll tell you when to buy and sell. Wow, that seems kind of easy. That's all it takes. Wow, this person is sitting there saying that it's changed their life or that they've made all sorts of money. Of course I'm going to go with them. Click. And then all of a sudden you figure out, wait a second, why? They told me to buy at, $10, but then when I pulled it up on my computer, it was already $10.15. So I bought at $10.15, but then I got an alert saying that they're going to sell at $10.20. So then when I went to try to sell, it was already at $10.12. So, but I got it at 10. Wait, I'm losing 3 cents already. And that's just if you think that you can keep up with the market.
That's conservative too.
Yeah. And that's really conservative. And I've seen it before. One of the big names out there, I'm not going to name any specifics, but this person literally put out a webinar and they recorded one of their trades and they literally went short and then went into the chat room, typed, just went short on this. And then, they have the level 2s up so you can see the market. And then the stock, a bunch of selling just shows up. What a coincidence. This person goes short, tells their chat room that they went short, and then a bunch of selling takes place. And then guess what this person's doing? Well, hey, the price went down. I'm going to get out and cover. Then they go, so they're out. They're made a profit. Good job. And then they go tell the chat room, just got out. And then all of a sudden, guess what happens? The price all of a sudden stabilizes and starts to go back up. And, wow, that worked out really well for that person that was able to get in first and then issue the alert, and then all the sheep follow. But it's a game of musical chairs. It's not going to work out for everybody. I'm not going to sit here and say that it'll never work out, that you'll never make money, using an alert service. I can't say that. That would be a lie. You will make money. There's no doubt about that. However, long-term consistency, are you going to make money? Like I said, I don't know how many people, Chezz, that go to the golf course and can do that on a routine basis and just, pull money from the market by,
I think there'd be more. Alerts. Yeah, there'd be more people golfing and hanging out on their phones if that was the case. But Clay is nice enough to draw the picture of musical chairs. I want to paint the real picture for you guys. I want you to think about a slaughter factory with just sheep getting just driven into this slaughter factory. And that's what it is. And the guy who's pulling the little saw blade or whatever, running the machine, that's the guy who made that alert. And he's literally just offloading into the people who are blindly following because they are mindless. They have no trade plan. They have no thesis. Don't get me wrong. You can ride trends. Riding trends is great. You don't have to be at the turning point or, at the very beginning or at the very top or on the turn. But at the same time, you are just fueling, it's just ignorance. It drives me nuts and my eye is twitching over here, Clay. I need help.
Yeah, but I think for me at least, like I was saying, I can't believe I actually fell for it myself. Like when I first got in, I remember I never signed up for a chat room, but I'd literally go on message board. And in fact, in one of my courses, the Penny Stock Survival Guide, I literally go back to the beginning in the course of when I started. And I break down my first few posts, and wow, I was a moron. And literally within the course, all I could do is make fun of myself because that's how bad it is. It's it's really that bad. And to just think at one point I was that ignorant, I was that stupid. So I get it, And I'm mad at myself for ever being that way. But please understand, following somebody else, shadow trading somebody else, that's just not the way the market works. If you want to follow somebody else, do this. Go find a registered financial advisor. Say, hey, what are you going to do with my money? Then they're going to start talking about IRAs and 401ks, and that's fine. But let them deal with your money. Don't go and say, I'm going to trade my money, but follow somebody else that I have no idea who it is. If you don't want to get hands-on, if you don't want to get dirty, if you don't want to learn this game, there's nothing wrong with that. My parents, perfect example. They want to be in the market. Cool. But they don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to, learn this. They don't want to do any of that. And I'd say that's probably like 90% of the population. That's fine. And my parents have financial advisors and they invest their money. Fine. There's no shame in that at all. But don't sit here and say, I want to be a trader. And then your definition of a trader is, now the next step is I need to find somebody to follow. That's not a trader. That's called being a sheep. That's called just blindly following. And again, I fell into that category. So if that's kind of you right now sitting there thinking, well, yeah, I want to be a trader, but why am I always researching who's good at, picking stocks, who's got hot stocks? Why do I keep signing up for these free penny stock newsletters? Stop. Either find a financial advisor or say, I'm going to buckle down and I'm going to, learn this business on my own. So
you want to hear my brain trickery though? This was how I reasoned all of it. I said, I'm going to go into this chat room, which will not be named. And what I'm going to do is once I make, X amount of dollars, I'm going to invest that money in education. So what I'm going to do is I just have to make a little bit, to pay for this education. And honestly, I think it's the dentist chair video or what is it? It's one of the videos where it's
Surgeon's Dilemma.
Surgeon's Dilemma. That's right. I want to learn. Don't get me wrong. I really do want to learn, but I need to make this money first to pay for that because I'm not willing to do it up front. So that was my chat room logic, all kind of blended together to just pretty much all the foolish things you can do as a new trader. You're just not knowing.
So Chezz, Chezz's logic was this within the Surgeon's Dilemma. Chezz wanted to become a brain surgeon. So Chezz thought, what? I want to become a brain surgeon. So the first thing I'm going to do is, join some chat rooms, read some stuff on the internet, go to YouTube. Okay. Then I'm going to find somebody to, let me perform brain surgery on them. I'm going to perform brain surgery. And because I gave that person a service, that person is going to pay me for the service. Fantastic. Now I'm going to take that money that they paid me for brain surgery and I'm going to use that money and I'm going to go to medical school with it and then learn how to actually become a brain surgeon. You better be listening to this thinking that's the dumbest thing. That makes zero sense. Yet
your brain will try to convince you of it. I can promise.
I did it. Like, you know what? Let me first make money. And then after I make money, I'll put it into my education. Think about that from the brain surgery, the brain surgeon thing. Hey, sir, I would like to go to medical school, but let me perform brain surgery on you so that after you pay me, I'll use that money to go to medical school. Nah. That's not going to happen. That's just pure,
doesn't work that way. That's how you shell out your money and kill your patient and pretty much end your trading career.
Yeah. And I guess, just thinking, because I'm looking at the time, we're getting pretty deep into the show here, but Chezz, what is something that just has stuck out from the past 49 episodes, whether it be a guest or a concept that has really kind of been an overall theme that that we seem to kind of, just hear time and time again? I mean, does anything really stick out?
Well, it's definitely, I'd probably say the most prevalent one is that people say practice. And it's always Curtis that stands out to me. And that's maybe just because I got to watch him go from kind of, a mediocre trader to absolutely killing it. But he just says, I just practice a ton. And when you are tired of practicing, do it again for the same amount of time. So just double whatever you think, was enough time to practice. And honestly, everybody has the hindsight of, I think just about everybody we've interviewed is that, when we ask them the time machine question, they go, I wish I would have invested in my education sooner. Honestly, I wish I invested in Microsoft when I was a baby, okay? That's hindsight. We get that. The important thing is they realized it. But something that everybody can take away from this podcast, in my opinion, is that practice and find what works first and then practice it even more. Just keep practicing because the market will be there tomorrow. It'll be there in 6 months. It'll be there in 6 years. It's always going to be there. The thing is that your financial capital to invest, that is finite. There's only so much of that. And, you can save up. There's a lot of things we've already talked about in little ways that you can build up a trading account. But the market will be there. There is no rush. And I get it. You want to be a millionaire overnight. If that's what you're looking for, you're better off going and playing roulette in Vegas or gambling, scratch off tickets, whatever it is. This is not the path to quick riches. Those people who we see gamble all the time on earnings plays, options, whatever it is. Don't get me wrong. Sure, they might win a couple times, but I don't see them in the chat anymore. I don't see them on Twitter anymore. I don't see anymore. You want to know why that is? Because they are part of that 90% that fails. They are that statistic, and that's what it's primarily made up of.
You want to know what sticks out to me, Chezz? I'd be happy to share it with you if you're curious.
I'm curious. Go ahead, let me know.
All right, thanks, man. You're a decent human being. Decent. For me, you kind of stole some of my thunder. Is first, it seems like most of the people always rushed into things, going back to lack of patience. But to your point, the market's always going to be there. I mean, even if we get taken over by another country, I'm sure that country's going to have a stock market. So there's really no need to rush. But the thing that, it seems to have always been an underlying, theme through a lot of the interviews is people would invest into one of our courses, join the chat room, and I get why they did it because, okay, I finally spent money. I spent money to learn. I've spent money to join, but then they keep trading with real money. That's not how it works. Yes, that's great that you've spent money to learn, that you've spent money, to join the chat room, but that doesn't give you a free pass to keep trading with your own money. You don't learn on the job in training. That's fantastic. You bought a course, sweet, but stop trading. Let's take it back to the brain surgery thing. You got accepted to medical school. Fantastic. You're paying for medical school. Fantastic. That doesn't mean that next week you get to go and, hey, this is anatomy 101. I'm just learning where the brain actually is. But then, after class, I got to go perform a brain surgery. That's not how this works. That's great that you invest. And whether it's my course or somebody else's, but right there, you should be putting the brakes on your trading. There should be no money or real money being traded anymore. If you want to keep paper trading, if you want to paper trade what you're learning as you go, that's fantastic. But to think that just because you buy into something, just because you invest into some sort of educational program, that gives you a green light to continue to use real money, that's setting yourself up for failure. That's setting yourself up for frustration. This crap doesn't work. Why am I not getting it? Well, because you don't have the full picture. We're going to be interviewing her hopefully soon. She's had some other stuff going on, so she hasn't been able to, but one of the stories I can't wait that's coming up is sooner than later is one of our traders, she literally spent 6 months going through the courses, maybe even more. And she sent me questions and And to be honest, I was thinking, why isn't she trading? Like, what? But I even fell into the trap of like, why isn't she rushing herself? Because I'm so used to people rushing themselves, and she just methodically worked your way through it, paper trading, going through the courses, paper trading. And she's, we have a challenge that we named after her, and she took $500 and now it's worth, what is it worth? Like $15,000, something crazy like that.
Something around that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's now, am I sitting here proclaiming that if you take your time with $500 and go that you're going to, no, there's no such thing as a guarantee in the market. So I can't say that, but she is a shining example of why when you invest in your education, first you take your time, but you also just stop trading with your real money. So just stop trading with real money and go slow and just take your time. To echo Chezz once more, the market's not going to go anywhere. And I think that's a good place to end, Chezz. Would you agree?
I'd agree. I think I knew this one would kind of fly by because there's a lot of things we like to hammer on. But yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
So I hopefully, you all got something out of this in terms of some overarching themes, in terms of just slow down. Don't be lazy in the sense of not having patience. Don't be lazy in the sense of let me go find somebody to follow. And I want to drive this home just because go deliver pizzas. If you want to grow an account, if you want some extra money, go deliver pizzas. Go mow some people's lawns. There's no shame in that at all. I know what some services out there are going to proclaim, or their marketing implies that makes you like a loser or something because all they do is party on yachts and go on exotic vacations and stuff like that. How are you supposed to do that by delivering pizzas? But hey, one step at a time. There's no shame in wanting to work hard and grind it out. So episode 50, crazy, Chezz, huh?
I can't believe it's been 50 weeks of episodes we've done. It's just flown by.
And I'm going to pat ourselves on the back. We've never missed one either. It's been every Monday.
We have not missed one. It's been every Monday from
50
launch.
weeks. We have not missed one. So I will pat ourselves on the back. I mean, to put up with each other, if the people only knew what happened behind the scenes and all the,
Put up with you to put up with IT Nate. I mean, man,
Yeah.
I'm just, that's why I have no hair anymore.
we're all saints. We're all saints around here. I mean, with the patience we have, it's been crazy. But before we head out, if you have any suggestions or anything for us, please leave those in the comment section. Now that we're past 50, we're probably going to go back and re-interview some of the people, just do some updates, and maybe do a little bit more roundtables like we had at the 2-year anniversary one. Just bring back groups of people and just kind of sit around. But we're still planning on going and going strong. So, but we are open to suggestions, and if you have some ideas and stuff, so leave those in the comment section. If you are listening on iTunes or any of the other podcast players, then leave us a review. Make sure to share us, and those little things really do go a long way. And let us know that you want us to keep making these. So it's been fun through 50 episodes with all of you, and I look forward to another 50 episodes. So with that being said, I'll see you back for episode 51.
This has been the Stock Trading Reality Podcast. Thanks for taking the time to hang out. To learn more about Clay and the ClayTrader community, including the trading team, premium training, and more, visit ClayTrader.com.